Hey guys, Blake Hall here today to talk about the good old Monterey Pop. This is just a beast of a concert. It's a concert that was held in summer of 1967, so we're in the summer of love. This is just features some of the best artists, of the last 100 years, just at their prime. This is a one of a kind experience. Honestly, I love this concert so much. Best concert I've ever seen, by far. I mean, I love a lot of stuff like Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii, Radiohead, and Rainbows in the Basement. This is the top of the top of the list for me, though, just for the sheer thrill of just capturing all these artists at their prime years, and just the way it really puts you in the year 1967. When I watch this, I just really feel like I'm there. It has a really distinctive way of capturing the air, and the vibes of this time period in San Francisco, California, the late 60s. I just kind of when the hippie scene was really taking over. And yeah, it's just a film that really just showcases what a lot of this looked like. Free love, free, just freedom in general. And I think the music just feels like it really represents that really well. Of course, I wasn't alive during this era, but I've always really, from a very young age, I've always had a lot of draw to like a lot of the 60s culture, a lot of just, I'm so interested in how, the art that was coming out. I'm a Beatles head. Of course I love the 60s, so, very drawn to just all the evolvement that was happening throughout this decade. All the music and films. There's just so much I love that came out of this decade. But this showcases just all the music at its best, really. Just all the pop, all the rock and roll, all the Indian music going into it, the jazz. I love how it showcases a little everything. My only complaint about this movie is I just wish it were longer because it's just such perfection. That the film itself was only like 80 minutes long. It's like, oh, I wish it could have been more, honestly, because it's just so good. But anyways. Film starts off. The opening 10 minutes are really just kind of showing the concert setting up. You're watching and I love watching all this because it just really puts you in the moment with a lot of these hippies, a lot of the people that were there. You really just get a flavor of what the scene really looked like. What did the audience look like? What was everyone doing? You can really get the sense of just freedom in general whenever you watch all this. And I love these scenes a lot. As far as getting to the music, though, we start off with the Mamas and Papas, and they do a performance of "California Dreamin'." It's their most iconic song. It's a big hit. It's a great scene. Honestly, this concert goes to so many places, but this is a great way to start it. The very 60s era, very very good vibes all around. And they give a really good performance of this song in general. And then that leads us to my first, the one where I really start falling in love. This is "Rolling and Tumbling" by Canned Heat. Man, this is just what a performance this is. I can't get over. I geek hard over the bass line of the bassist of this song. He's just like going up there like a madman. But man, the bass is just literally some of the most exciting I've ever heard, really. And just watching all this in action, watching the crowd get into it, it's just so awesome. I love this song. You really put on a masterful performance. I love Candy's performance in this. Of course, I like to often contrast this with Woodstock. I prefer this concert, honestly, just because of I think the music was just at its all-time best, whereas Woodstock was just a little bit more of there's a bigger cultural phenomenon. I think this was just had more of a pure essence to it in a lot of ways. Man, do I love their performance of this song. It's really exciting. The way it grooves, the way it jams. It's awesome. Then that leads us to a tender moment. One of my favorite tender moments of it is Simon and Garfunkel performing Feelin' Groovy, 59th Ridge Street. Oh, man. This song, just good vibes are all around this song. It's all about just a really, really great moment. It's a really tender moment. Art Garfunkel, Paul Simon, just watching them perform together. It's truly a special moment, And again, you can see it in the audience's eyes. They're just like in this miracle of a place whenever their wonderful harmonies come together. And it's a sweet song. Really feel good. It makes you feel good just whenever you hear it. Just how do you not want to smile a little bit? And then we get a South African jazz group called the guy's name is Hugh Maskela, and there's a song called the Healing Song. Oh man, I've never heard of these guys, but it's awesome. You got this guy, South African lead singer, and he's just like singing, man. And you feel this energy. You don't understand what he's singing, and don't understand. Because he's not singing in English, but I love his performance so much. There's just such an energy to it. Very freeing. It feels very like, spiritual jazz influenced in a lot of ways. You can really hear a lot of that element going into it. I love watching the crowd's reactions on this one. You can tell everyone's just like, man, everyone's having a groovy time whenever this song kicks in. I love it. You just tell it's kind of one of those scenes where it just paints a scene where it's like, like who wouldn't want to be at this? Just like what a moment in time this is going on. It would have been awesome to have been there, honestly. If I had a time machine, I'd probably want to go back to 1967 summer and go to San Francisco and catch this thing. That'd be my thing. And then next we get Jefferson Airplane, and this is a performance of High Flying Bird. This is a great performance. I'm actually not generally like a diehard Jefferson Airplane kind of guy, but I do love this part. I love their what their role was in a lot of the psychedelic rock era. So I really love watching them perform here. I think it's a lot better than the Woodstock performance because Grace Slick was just, I know she was very drugged out for the Woodstock performance. But for this one, it didn't really feel like everything was, it didn't really feel like anything was too oversaturated just at the end. And then we get another Jefferson Airplane song because why not? And we get a piano ballad, Grace Slick's piano ballad called Today. That's a beautiful piece. I love that song, very freeing. Then we get Janis Joplin. This is a really iconic performance for Ball and Chain. It's just, you can just feel her bleeding vocals just pouring out in every moment of this song. It's very passionate. You could almost like Janis Joplin was like possessed by something when the way she sings it. You feel every moment of it. Extremely raw, extremely gritty song. And it's incredible, absolutely incredible. One of my favorite moments is Paint It Black by the Animals. This is the Animals covering the Rolling Stones, and I love this version just as much as the Rolling Stones, in all honesty, just because of the energy this one conjures. There's just so much energy that went into this song. I like watching the opening part. You got this violinist like playing a really dramatic music, and he looks just intense until the music starts getting lively, and he just kind of cracks his smile. It's like, oh yeah, and it's awesome. I love watching Eric Burdon. He just has a really magnificent presence when he sings, and I really enjoy hearing this one, and especially like we get all these montage sequences of just everybody doing their thing, and then the song just kind of gets into this kind of freak out moment. It's going wild, bananas. I absolutely love the energy that the Animals capture for this song. Then we got My Generation by The Who. Oh yeah, this is like the big rocker. Man, golly, it's just a really powerful rocker all around. You have all the members just breaking their instruments as the song comes to an end, and I couldn't imagine how people were making of this. You can even see in the audience's reactions that they feel like they're like in an alien kind of setting. I think nowadays these kind of things are just so ingrained in culture, so it doesn't seem such a big deal now. But at the time, just imagine like you've never heard, you weren't ever hearing music like this, and you got these guys up there breaking their instruments. It looks like it came from another world. I imagine. It's an awesome performance, though. Again, the loudest, most rocking moment of the whole film. And we got Country Joe and the Fish. Yeah, these guys are cool. I just got to these guys recently, actually. These guys are pretty awesome. Section 43 is the song they perform here, and it's a pretty magical moment. You can really, again, I love watching audiences' reactions. Everyone just seems to really just be in it with the music. I love this group. I actually just picked up one of their vinyls just recently at the library. I really love this sound. It was kind of an early entry into psychedelic rock, one of the most psychedelic bands you'll hear. But man, they had a really cool sound. They were groovy, so I liked them. And then we hop over to Otis Redding. He got to perform here. This is shortly before his death, sadly. So it was great. Well, at least he got to come out with an amazing performance here with Shake. Oh, the energy here is just magnificent. In a lot of ways, it's like it has that kind of soul energy, but it's like really live. It really, I didn't even really know like soul music. There was like soul music was this lively at this era. Honestly, I didn't really think that was becoming massive until like around the 70s. But I guess I'm wrong. Because I love it so much. It's awesome. He performs that. And then he also has a tender moment with "I've Been Loving You Too Long." Oh my gosh, such a great song, so powerful. And of course, we got the man himself, Jimi Hendrix, and then he performs "Wild Thing." Golly, man, and Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it's like he just dominates the stage. Of course, he just makes it his own thing. This is actually the whole footage. You've probably seen the iconic footage where he actually like burns his guitar, treats it like a witchcraft. This is where the footage really comes from. I think this is the most iconic image that you often see. It comes from this concert, actually. He gives an awesome performance here, and I love his good. I can't even really say anything new about it. Obviously, his guitar work's just the best. Whenever I watch this film, I try to like look at it from the lens like I haven't really heard of these guys. That's the way I really like to retain a fresh quality. I think it's very easy to go into this like, okay, like these guys have been in history for such a long time. It's like it may not seem that special if you watch it now, but I really try to imagine I'm there. And just like, okay, what if I'm actually in the 60s and I'm really seeing this guy? The way this is filmed, you really feel like you're actually there. So it just really feels magical whenever he's on stage. And it's like, well, who is this alien of a guy just, like rock casually just like playing guitar like that? It's just insane. The soul he puts in the stage performance. He's like the full package of just, a perfect music performance. And again, this is like the Who's moment. Everybody's just like almost in a shock whenever he starts breaking his guitar. And it's like, wow, we just stumbled upon this alien thing happening. You don't even know what to make of it. And then, of course, how do you follow up Jimi Hendrix? It's pretty much impossible. But the Mamas and Papas come back, and all right, it's fine. They just kind of bring us something a little easygoing with "I've Got a Feeling." Nothing wrong with that. gets us back into that kind of 60s pop kind of spirit, which is, it's, hey, no shame. It does paint the picture wonderfully, and it brings things grounded just a little bit again. Nothing wrong with that. And then we got Ravi Shankar. This is the big final performance. This goes on for about a 15-minute sequence. And this is actually the guitarist who taught George Harrison, the Beatles, how to play sitar. So this is kind of a really groundbreaking. This is a musical piece that'll really leave you in a trance. Just if you lend yourself to it, it's truly a magnificent piece, and it's a magnificent way to close the whole film. Man, Monterey Pop's just amazing. It's like my words can't really do it justice. How do you talk? I can only talk about the music for so long. It's really just one of the kind concert experiences. You really just have to see it for yourself. I always suggest just trying to watch it as if you were just make believe that you're really there when you're watching it, because I think something magical will happen whenever you watch it. It's just it's a magnificent experience. You can feel that summer of love air all around it. Just all the energy that was going on around at the time, all this creative involvement, all this freedom, newfound freedom that was really kicking in. For creative freedom in general. So it's perfect. My only complaint, I just wish this were longer, because it's just too perfect to be this short, 80 minutes long. In this Criterion case that I have, it also comes with there's a bonus disc on here as well. It has about twice as many performances, and I'm just like, why didn't any of these make the theatrical cut? But that's okay, because at least we still got it here. Some of the highlights on that, there's Association, Along Came Mary. That's a fantastic piece of 60s pop. You get Simon and Garfunkel, and I don't know why this one didn't make the film. It's Sound of Silence. It's like the most iconic pieces they did. Homeward Bound as well. I'm amazed they didn't make the actual cut. They give a fantastic performance of these songs here. Country Joe and the Fish perform my favorite song on the bonus features. That's Not So Sweet, Martha Lorraine. I love the progression of this song. This is one of the most it's extremely psychedelic in the way it goes about it. You really feel the air whenever you hear this song. Like, this is a very new kind of sound. Again, it's a sound that may seem more dated if you're listening to it from today, but I love the sound as it is. But I especially like to imagine I'm there, and will feel this kind of air wash over you. I think if you lend yourself to it in that way. One of my favorites. This is the most underrated. Lauren Nero. She's an artist I got into recently. Absolutely love her music. She has a great performance here. She performs you get a little bit of her performing Wedding Bell Blues. It's really charming, really amazing performance. And then you got Poverty Train. It's really powerful. I think she's got one of my favorite. She's one of my favorite female vocalists all around. She's incredibly powerful and evocative when she sings. And I'm actually kind of angry whenever I hear that everyone booed her off the stage. I'm like, are you serious? So it's like, I don't understand. I actually can't wrap my head around that one. Left her in tears, apparently. It's like, golly, it's just awful, because it's a perfect performance. What gives? I don't get that one. There's also the Big Brother and the Holding Company. That's Janis Joplin's band. They perform a combination of the two. This one's just a lot of fun. You got this other band where, I don't know, you can just tell everyone's having a good time on this song, and that energy just really comes across. It's awesome. You got The Who doing some more stuff. Tiny Tim, I don't get Tiny Tim, honestly. He might have been a cult phenomenon at the time, but he just sounds really annoying and chirpy now, I'd say. So he didn't really do anything for me. But, and the best part of all in this box set, not only do you have all those, but there is an entire disc sorely featuring Otis Redding and Jimi Hendrix himself. And this is really the one to live on right here. You get just, it's 3 hours of just nonstop awesome. You get their whole performance. Yeah, it's so good. So I highly recommend Monterey Pop. If you're a music head, if you love the 60s, if you love any art from that time period, if you love, just want to dive into a good musical time, you really can't go wrong with Monterey Pop. It's got something musically for everybody, I think. There's some element you'll find here that you'll be pretty amazed by. It takes you on a pretty great musical experience. So highly recommend checking it out, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to be getting back into my albums. I decided to take a little break from the album territory and just, I just really wanted to cover this because this is just such a special one of my kind concert. It's my favorite one of all time. It just makes me feel good when I watch it. I feel like I really just feel like I'm in a better place whenever I'm watching Monterey Pop. And I'm just letting its impact wash over me. Anyways, next I'm going to be getting back to the albums, and I'll be taking on Velvet Underground and Nico for my next album. So stay tuned for that, guys. And take care. Have a good one. Yeah.